Hey, let's just dive right into it. So the other day I was working on an Ubuntu machine, 20.04, and I set up the networking and it appears to be working. If we go up here, we can see the little symbol. Looks like we've got some networking here. If we open this up, take a look at this, our settings. We've got our DNS set to that, to Google. I can go in here. Let's set that to automatic. Apply, turn off, back on. Give it a second for the network to reconfigure. And according to this, we've got an IP address. Let's go back in, and I've been given 10.16. Great. The DNS is automatically set to 10.1, which is my pfSense machine. So what's unique about this challenge is that when we actually go to the internet, though, we're not getting anything. Okay, so we have a DNS, we have an IP address, but we are not able to connect. Now, what's unique, though, is that if I go to another machine that's on that same network, given the same type of permissions, it's set up as DHCP and automatic DNS. Okay, go exit out of that. And we see we got some data. So what that's telling us is that it's not a DNS problem with my pfSense machine. It's not it has to be a problem with my Ubuntu machine specifically. They are able to get IP addresses. If we go to the terminal here, I'm on the same network, the 10 network. This is 10.13. The other machine is a 10.16. Something's wrong here. So what's a unique thing that we need to look at is that there's something new inside of Ubuntu 18.04 and 20.04, and it's how we set up our DHCP client on a Ubuntu machine. And specifically, it's using the netplan. Okay, let's go into our terminal. And what I want to do is navigate to my netplan. So if you haven't heard of netplan before, it is it's a network configurator abstraction renderer. But basically what it is that it's a file, it's a YAML file that contains commands from an administrator so that when the machine boots up, it's going to say, hey, what's in that file? How are we going to be networking this machine into its overarching network? And so what I need this machine to be is a DHCP client. So let's actually navigate to where we can find that file. It's in etc netplan. And here we go. We have our default YAML file, which is great. This is the one that comes with your default installation of 20.04. Let's open it up. And because we're in etc, we're going to sudo that. Okay. So right away, we can see that the default renderer for our network is the network manager. You might see also network D, but what we are system D network. Let's go ahead and we're going to put some information into this file that's going to tell us, or it's going to tell the machine that when it boots up, we want this to be a DHCP client. And we need to specify the interface that we're working on. So let's open up a new window. And so we can remind ourselves what interfaces we have here. You can do this with ifconfig. Another popular way would be to do TCP dump, and it'll give you a different look. So ENS33 is the one that I'm working with here. So if you're following along, this is how we're going to be setting up this machine to be a DHCP client. We're going to leave the first little bit just the way it is. We are going to specifically choose a Ethernets. Now remember, it was ENS33 and DHCP4. Yes. So we're going to write that and save it. Just for giggles, I'm going to make sure that my changes are in there. And yes, it is in there. So we've added the changes to the file, the YAML file, and what I need to do next is apply these changes to my network. So we use the command netplan apply, sudo netplan. Okay, and now let's give it a try. There you go. So as you saw in that, we were able to see that the machine, this Ubuntu machine, the DHCP client is now working. We're able to go out to the internet and grab the data that we need. It comes back through my firewall and is visible on in my browser. There are a whole bunch of things that you can do with netplan. So right here, all I did was set as a DHCP, but you can also set the static IP in that. Maybe you've got multiple interfaces. You can set one as DHCP, another one as static. You can set them all as different static IP addresses. So there's a lot of different things you can do in here. I'll probably upload another video on setting a static IP address. But there you go. If you found this video informative or helpful, please go ahead and like and subscribe. And there'll be a lot more videos coming. All right. Thanks. Bye.